Hey buddy, this is John with Planet Tech, and today we're going to be going over part 1 of our introduction into how to create an FPS within CopperCube. It's going to be for the Android phone, so specifically you'll see me use the Asus ZenFone 2, 2 gigs of RAM, and about, I think it was 16 gigs of internal storage. This episode is going to basically just pertain to building a scene. You can build a scene multiple different ways. You can build it inside of the CopperCube engine, or you can build it into a third-party application such as Blender, 3ds Max, Lightwave, Misfit Model 3D. Some of the free ones are like Misfit Model 3D, Blender 3D, Lightwing. Some of the easier ones, though, if you just want to get straight in, you don't want it to be super pretty, it's going to be Misfit Model 3D, Lightwings, and Blender. Blender's going to be one of those ones where it ranges from easy all the way up to hard. It does allow you to do some really, really complex modeling inside of it, but just for scene creation, it's going to be really, really easy. Misfit Model 3D is not going to be as epic in creating your scene, but if you just want a Quake based or Doom based type scene, it's going to be doing the job real quick and really, really simple. So texturing is actually pretty easy, though it's not as so we say hands-on, or allows you to do a lot of easy stuff like in Blender, to where you can add a pretty complex texture to an object, fix it up in 10 minutes max, and voila, you're good to go. Export it over to CopperCube, apply the texture, fix it up a bit back in Blender if you need to, and then move it back into CopperCube for the final scene. So what you can do is you actually can build the scene all in CopperCube. So in this episode, we may not be moving it over to a APK file. In this tutorial series, we will be almost every single tutorial is going to have an APK, so you could download it, put it to your phone, and test it out. All the stuff that I will be using will be free stuff from the Unity resources, Open Game Art, Turbo Squid, Blender Swap, or stuff made by me or by artists for what I'm doing here. So all the stuff is available for download. And under certain situations, such as like when we get to like a pivotal point, I will be uploading the .cc, I think it was .ccb file, for you guys to input into your own versions of CopperCube. If you want to download CopperCube, there's going to be the link down below, but it's also available on Steam. That's where I got mine. So I have the basic version, not the pro version, which allows you to do a little bit more. You have more access to actual files and stuff. This version, however, does what I needed to do and fulfilled the tutorial requirements. Later on, I will upgrade. So I have a bunch of assets from a Unity file, and this one is actually from a pretty well-known game by Madfinger. If I can actually think of it, this one. Crazy, it just left my brain. Called, I think it was Did Trigger or something like that. So these are all the files. I exported them all from Unity and made all the FBXs into OBJs using the FBX converter. So it's a really, really nice application. So if you, since you can't import FBXs into CopperCube as of yet, there may be an update with the next couple updates pretty soon. There should be that available. And then I converted all the PSD files over to PNGs. So as you can see, I have all the PNGs and PSDs, which is Photoshop files. Alright. I also have Blender. Now, I have several versions of Blender. This version we're going to be using is 2.49. It's easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. However, it's not the most advanced version out. That'd be 2.70, but it has a lot of buttons on a lot of stuff that may literally frighten you guys. So let's get straight into actually creating the file, applying textures, importing it into CopperCube. So this may be a little bit lengthy. And then probably in the next tutorial we're going to add the player, test out scenes, add doors, add some pickup stuff so that we can actually walk around the scene, and then we'll add what we're actually going to do inside of this video game. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to make this. I'm going to show you real quickly how you can apply stuff, or you could build the scene in CopperCube. I have this floor right here, but what you can do is just go straight up to Scene, Editing, hit the Create a Water Surface. I want to create a plane. Now what we can do is add a tile count. That means how many polygons you want this to be made out of. We can do this real quickly. I want like a bazillion, but I want the width to be 30. Repeat texture count by 100. Now this is going to look really crazy, but there it is. And it's got a bazillion of these little tiles on it. And if we go into wireframe mode, toggle wireframe, it's like a bazillion triangles. So you don't exactly want that unless you're running a PC game that's high poly count. But we're not doing that, so we're going to go to tile count 4. We're going to set the width to 100. We're set the length to 100, and we're going to set the texture count. I'm going to set it to 5 because that actually works for me. I'm going to apply a texture to it, a ground texture. Boom. The issue that I have actually with this is that I cannot edit. If I want, I don't want to plaster like 20 of these down. What I want to do is I actually want to just go straight into Blender, select everything, delete it. There's our scene. I'm going to shrink that down a bit. And then I want to add a mesh. I want to add a plane. Alright, so we have a plane. I'm going to go to top down, and we're going to switch over to wireframe because it helps us see. And for this, let's see, I want to open test scene. We're not going to go into like rooms or anything like that. So we're going to stretch this out. So we can literally edit this, and just for having fun with it, I'm going to subdivide that scene, or this part of it, so that I can put an edge on it. You see, we can do that. A CopperCube, what you can do is do Polygon Editing and select that and then move it, but it creates this issue. And then while you can mess around with the UVs to where it does look decent, it's just not the best at this moment. It does have like a UV something like, okay, I'm gonna show you real quick, guys. So I can go into UV editor, and what I can do is I can select all that, and I can go just top down. I hit U, unwrap. I can view this whole thing right here. So I'm going to set it to bounds. So there you go. I'm now going to go into where these textures are. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go open. I'm going to paste that down. So we have our textures. I'm going to look for a PNG file. Just any type. Well, not any type. I want to at least have a floor texture. So I am looking for that floor texture. M_MPR. It's ceiling, floor. We'll choose that one. Open that. Boom. We have this. Now we can go into texture mode, and we have that. Now that doesn't look great, but what we can do is we can size that up to be, say, 6. Now we got 6 of these. Now what we usually do is add walls to these so it looks like like the walls there. But what we can also do is just apply it so we can see. I want to select that. We can edit that. Now a really great thing what we could do here is that I can literally just duplicate that or add another plane, mesh plane, go to side view, rotate 90 degrees, select these vertices, move it up, move it up like a wall. Let's actually add a doorway there, so it's like some sort of landing pad or something like that where you're outside and then you go into an inside facility. So what we can do, and what you can actually do in the new blenders, is literally just cut a hole out. Boom, you're done. But what I actually tend to like to do is I'm going to go into wireframe and I'm going to go into front view. I'm actually going to go straight to this blue line, subdivide it, carry on. Let's see if we can actually mirror it. Let's see if it's gonna let us do that. The shapes, let's see. Modifiers. Okay, usually it has the option if you're able to do it. Looks like it's not going to let us do it this time, but sometimes I would just mirror it. So it would just replicate it on the other side. Again, what we can do is just subdivide. I'm going to select those, extrude those edges, and then hit X, and then we're going to just do that. Actually, hold on. Well, we select that, move it there, subdivide, subdivide again. We're going to take these, haha, we hit K. We're just going to cut it, boom. We're going to kind of cheat here. Okay, cut. Boom. We have our door. Very simple. Alright, so what we actually want to do at this point is, because we're actually going to have like a door frame placed there, we're going to put that a little bit closer. Let's see, are we going to have, we may have an arch, so let's, may edit this later, but let's put an arch here. So we have some sort of beam going across. And then just edit this bit. I'm going to go into side view, extrude it. Go a bit inwards. See, we're going to have a decent sized building. Don't want to make this too hard, so we're just probably going to do a bit of the interior building, but not too much of it. Just enough to get our feet wet. add another plane. Now you could stretch this other plane and add 2 textures to it. I'm actually going to just do separate. But usually in a mobile video game, the less polygons, the better. Even on stuff with like 2 gigs. So if your phone's got like 2 gigs of RAM, you're pretty much good. Because I know the Asus Zenfone is DDR3, so it is pretty, it's, you know, like PC standards. It's just, you know, running Android. So top down, in case everything is pretty much level. Okay, now we want a wall on this side. Let's see, I do want it to have some sort of octagon shape, because what's going to happen is that this is going to be a landing zone, and this is going to be kind of a circle area. Maybe. Or just a cargo. How about as a cargo area? So it's a drop off and pick up area. So we want actually another wall. So I'm actually going to select that. And I'm going to select all these faces. So I'm going to hit B. And select that. But what we could also do is hit double tap B. And select all those faces. Voila. We're going to hit Shift D. And we're going to move this inside. There we go. And we have another door, so we don't have to make another one. But this one's going to be a little bit different to the fact that it's actually going to be like a cargo or hangar door. Or we could make this one the cargo and hangar door, since you're going to have stuff being moved in, placed inside, and then moved in. So we can actually make this door a bit bigger. There you go. So we could actually put a pretty big size door there, and then that one's the smaller one. Alright, so we have the floor, we have the outside landing area. I'm going to actually decorate this a bit more. We're actually going to add a cube. We're going to go into top-down view, and we're going to actually shrink this cube because it's actually just going to be one of the support beams. This is like a landing area. Or we could have an outside area. And then like a landing area in the background. I don't know. I will do that when we actually start decorating this place a bit more. I want to keep it simple for us at this moment. So these sides will be open so we can actually edit it and then update it or refreshing it inside the copper cube, which we're going to talk about. So some stuff you may be going, why are you doing this, John? I'm going to explain a little bit later. So we're going to actually just keep this all simple and work on it a bit later. Right now we're just going to mess around with textures. Let's see, I'm looking at my other scene, which has all my textures right there. So I can see what we're actually going to add to this. Outside, I'm going to have a more of a rustic type of texture. Okay, so we have that open. I want let's see, the M floor 4 PNG. There we go. Is that the one I wanted? That would work for inside. It's kind of an industrial area. Kind of wanted to survive a bunch of stuff. So we're going to unwrap that to bounds. We're going to set this to texture so we can see everything. Oh, looks like we got... Okay. So we're actually going to set that to be 4. No, let's shrink it down a bit more. Go back with Control Z to go before. Or undo. Size 6. We're actually going to size this just to be right. There we go. That's where it meets all the sides of the area. Perfectly. Okay, now this we're actually going to change to be more of an industrial setup. not that. If it looks washed out, that's how it's interpreting it. So that actually might work. So we're going to open this, and we're going to say we're looking for floors. Open. There we go. I'm going to go to top view. We're going to, let's see. There we go. And then we're actually going to, at this point, size it to 4. Now it looks kind of warped. And what we can do is add some ground around here, so it doesn't look so messed up. Let's see, we can size this up a bit. Alright, that actually looks pretty good. Now we want some sort of sheet metal for that. We got a ceiling texture. That's one thing we can use. Another floor grate. Let's see, some walls. We can use those. Ooh, some rust. Let's see, we can use that too. So I'll take our wall texture, and I'm going to import it in. So we're going to view it here. Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to select the pieces that we want to be textured. So I'm going to texture those, and these 4 walls. All pretty much the same. We're going to say front view. We're going to unwrap. Actually, let's take these one by one real quick. Put that right there. Move that up. Move that a bit down. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Back into front view. And then we're going to select this. After we texture this, we're going to export it as an OBJ, so that's a object-based file. Pretty old file, but it does the job. So they got those. It has these textured. Issue is that we actually want these visible on both sides. So we want to go to texture face. We actually want to select those sides and select them as two sides. so that they will be visible on both sides. There we go. Okay. Now with this side, so a few more. And then in the inside, we will add some crates once we import this into the engine. There we go. Alright, and we get these. Now we're going to actually clone those on these. Alright. Grab that, put that down here. Put that there. Okay, it looks like we're gonna have to flip it. So we're gonna select all that by double hitting A. We're gonna rotate that to be, actually wanted that to be 180. Selecting those, we're going to double tap that and we're going to hit that to be 180. So there we have that section. Now we're going to do these upper bits. Again, select the walls, and for those type of walls, I'm going to go for this because it goes straight up the roof. We're going to size those down. We're going to grab them, move them up. There we go. It's not pretty at the moment, but at this point we're going to just do a scene, and then we're going to actually improve it as we progress to see what we actually want for this type of scene as the tutorial moves on. And this, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. We're going to go to front view. I'm going to actually hit UV unwrap, bounds. Rotate that at 90 degrees. I'm going to shrink it, and then we're actually going to just probably just place it right there. Stretch it. It just says caution. It's like, hey, what is it actually in this place? There we go. That actually looks pretty good. Alright. And then we can do the same thing over here. We're going to go to front view, unwrap that. Rotate it 90 degrees. We're going to shrink it. So on that one, we could just implement that side of it, and then on these, that wall, and then that wall. We're going to move that up. A very basic scene. Now with the ceiling. So we're going to select this ceiling. We're going to go to top view. We're going to unwrap it. And now we're going to look for ceiling on our texture packs. We have some more walls. And these we will actually be using to modify the walls that we already have now, because our walls are like okay now, but we actually want to we actually just want to improve them. Okay, so this is our ceiling. It looks more like a light. So I actually won't plaster it everywhere. I'll just plaster it in selective areas and actually pretty much right in the center. We're going to go to open, and then we're going to go to graphic maps, and this is m_mpr ceiling. Here we go. Alright, so that is a light of some sort, but we made it way too big. We're going to go to top view, go to bounds, we're going to shrink it. So it gives us light, and then we want a ceiling of some sort, so it's like a normal ceiling. Or we could actually just clone these metal plates, which would be really nice. Alright, so we're going to take that bit, we're going to go to top view, we're going to take that bit, we're going to do it by we're literally just going to like make metal plates. Nothing like super complex. Okay, not that one. I need ceiling. There we go. Go. One way we could. Not that one. Ceiling. Is by stretching these sides out, so it doesn't look so stretched. So making it large isn't an issue. Is if you make it stretch, it doesn't look so great. Even though that seems to be kind of acceptable on the mobile devices, just due to the fact that your phone might not be the best. Okay, so that looks okay. We have our lights. We have our ceiling, we have a floor, we have an outside area. We will be adding some sort of like terrain, so maybe this will be a actual foresty area that, you know, supplies is dropped off at some sort of remote location, and you have to, or a training facility, because that's all this is going to be. It's basically a training facility. You go in here, you just run around, learn what the basics are, you go actually into the rest of the training facility. So this is our test model that we are actually going to export, and we're also going to do the doors. A mesh, we're going to do a cube. We're actually going to go to front view. We're going to go into wireframe. I'm actually going to grab this, set it level with the floor. And we're going to go to the first door and make sure that it just fits. This is a little bit larger than what you needed, and we're going to reset the center new. Let's see, move it to the right door. Okay, now what we're going to do is just duplicate it And since they're pretty much, yeah, they're the same height, we're just gonna make it longer. Okay. And now we're gonna look for one of the textures. Let's see, would one of the walls work? That wall might actually work as some sort of locked industrial door. Let's see, that's a floor texture. We're going to be using a bunch of these. Pipes. Oh, objects. Not really. Okay, that might work for the smaller door. So let's look for... Okay, so we got objects, and then I will probably end up using one of the other walls. Open it. We're going to paste the name of it there. .png. That was, let's see, objects. Okay, so I didn't import it. Ooh. Let's see. We have floor, floor, floor. But I kind of wish they had a actual like image viewer here. You could actually see what you're staring at in case you couldn't see it. Floor, grass, objects. That one. Alright, so we're gonna see our objects. That may work as a door. Might. It might not. We're gonna go to front view. Select our smaller door, go into front view, tab to go into edit mode, and then unwrap as bounds. Now we don't want everything. We actually just want that. We're going to make it a bit wider, and then select that, go up. Go into textured mode. There we go. Now we have this dark area around it. So what I'm actually going to do is add another mesh on top of it so we can make the door a little bit better. Or not better, but more stylish. More sci-fi. So we're going to add another cube. We're actually going to go into wireframe again. And we're going to grab it. We're going to make it really kind of small. And we're going to go a little bit narrow. And we don't need it long. Back into textured mode. We kind of see it. I kind of need it to cover the dark area. Gonna kind of bevel it so it looks similar to the outside of the door. Edit the actual bevelment of it. Rotate it. doesn't look perfect. I'm going to take these sides and shrink them into each other. So I'm going to go to top view. We're going to go to wireframe, and we're just going to select them and shrink them. Doesn't look perfect, but it's a weathered and beaten door. Let's see, we can edit that bit and move that up. So yeah, let's make this a bit weathered and beaten. So I'm actually going to add a few polygons by subdividing and give this a nice little dent. So it looks like it's been pounded on. And then I'm actually going to move this a bit inside. Widen it a bit. Let's see. Could add some bars across of it. What happens? We just take that door, make it this color. See, level editing, while easy, is sometimes hard because you're actually a designer. Making sure that everything fits in its place, looks perfect, and doesn't make any of the players angry. And what we're going to do is go to top view. We're actually going to go into a face select mode. We're going to go to wireframe. And then what we're going to do is unwrap. Well, unwrap and bounds. We're going to select it. Going to be a side. Now we need to take these sides and rotate them. Alright, so we have our door there. And for that one, let's see, I was going to use the NPR of the walls. So that one doesn't have any sort of numbering on them. we go. This one's going to be a little bit simpler. We're going to just go straight into front view and hit the control front, and we hit the other side. Select it. You want to hit unwrap bounds, size it. Center our viewing, and now we have that door. Now I want to actually just move into the center and make it a bit thinner, and boom, we have our test scene. So I'm actually going to just save as desktop as test room. We're going to just save as. I'm going to also external data packet, and now I'm going to export it as an OBJ. So we're going to select OBJ, test room, desktop, OBJ, export, copy images, all scenes, and high quality, export it, boom. Alright, so we're going to import the objects. So we have a small door, all this stuff. So we actually have test room, so that's our room. Delete that. Let's see. So I'm actually going to scale these up. Scale. Let's see. Scale is going to be 4 by 4 by 4. Okay. And let's see, that's an OBJ version, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to import it again as a 3DS. Textures, okay, so if you want it to work all the time, just export it as a 3DS model. We're going to do 4 by 4 by 4. Boom. So I'm going to delete that one. Select this one, and we have a pretty big scene. So I'll just make it, let's see if we can make it 10. And then we will take the textures and apply them. Okay. So we're actually going to go to advanced settings, double-sided materials, advanced settings, double-sided materials. Look specifically for what we need. Okay, there we go. Now we need the ceiling. Voila. So we have our ceiling. And it all looks pretty good. All looks pretty awesome. Okay, modify selection. We're going to center the pivot point. So it's right in the center. I'm actually going to scale this up a bit more. What happens if we scale it 100 by 100? This may be way too big though. Nope. Looks like it does it right. Alright. Make sure I want it to I want it to just meet the grid. There we go. Now we need to insert static mesh, small door. Let's let's see. We're going to modify selection. Make sure it hits center. Again, we're going to scale this up to 100 by 100. 100, 100, 100. I'm going to select everything and copy it so I don't have to keep, doing that. Copy it. Okay. To reinsert it. Small door. Modify selection and center the pivot point. There it is. Now we want to find where it is. Let's see. There we go. That's going to go for the small door. So we're going to drag that over there. Oops. We're going to select that object so we can go and view it. Meet it right up to the wall. Move it over there. And go straight down. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to do the bigger door. Test room, large door. We're going to center everything again, and then we're going to set it to be, oops, 100 by 100 by 100. Boom. Again, some things could be improved in the engine, but it does work. And then when you get to the coding bit, it's going to be really, really easy, kind of fun actually. Okay, all we need is the 2 floors so that we can walk on this. So floor inside, I'm going to center it. We're going to modify scene, and we're going to center the pivot point, and then we're going to just apply a floor. That actually looks like something that would be a test floor. That would work. Now we're going to make this 100 by 100 by 100. Boom. Position, copy. We're going to paste that. And we're going to go straight down. We're going to stretch it just a wee bit. Probably different texture. That looks good. And now we're looking for the outside one. So we're going to import another static mesh. We're going to do a floor outside. Again, we're going to apply a texture to it. We're going to make it 100 by 100 by 100. And then move it roughly to where it's gonna fit. And you could always copy that because it's at the same level. Paste that, and then just drag it to where it would roughly be. Sink it a bit down. And voila. We have our 3D scene. We have a door, we have another door, we have the inside. The walls aren't done because, again, we're going to actually expand on it. We just want an area to where we can just run around and play with. We have 3 gun models, and we're going to actually just start with the basic one and move up from there. Okay, so this scene, and that's on the pro version, that's if you want to see how much memory it's going to take up, which actually is pretty good. So this is our test scene 1. I'm going to get rid of these since we don't need those. I'm going to keep that one, but I am actually going to import a shotgun. So let me find that. Assets. Weapons. I'm going to copy that. And we're going to import a not an animated mesh, not yet anyway. Insert a static mesh. I'm going to paste that. Rifle, shotgun 1. So we have our base shotgun. There we go. And these will be pickups. So we'll be able to do the 1 and 2. So, alright guys, so until next time, remember, hit the like and subscribe button. I'll put up the next video pretty soon. It's going to be literally just us putting our FPS player down. Probably adding some more assets so we can actually have a area that looks really nice, adding a door opening and closing script, and then adding a door opening and closing script to the other door, adding some lights, and then exporting it to our actual phone so that we can test it around, and putting a public APK down in a download file so that you guys can play around with it. And then we'll be actually expanding this. We'll go back into Blender, we'll expand this, and then add some test scenes where you pick up a weapon and then you shoot some what we call billboard bad guys, and so you do this little run around, a little test scene. So again guys, remember, hit the like and subscribe button if you like this series and you wanted to continue. Put your comments down below if you would like to see a particular tutorial done, or 3D application made or something like that, or any other type of application, or a game walkthrough or whatever. And enjoy the rest of your day.